A $1.6 billion upgrade is underway to save one of America's most critical rail links, the East River Tunnel on the Northeast Corridor. Severely damaged by Hurricane Sandy, this century-old lifeline is getting a 21st-century overhaul to keep trains moving safely and reliably for decades to come. So what is actually going on inside this old tunnel? And can Amtrak pull off this massive project without paralyzing the busiest rail line in the country? Join OnTheTrains on this dramatic journey and see how it's being rebuilt for the future. Tunnel upgrade. Currently, the East River Tunnel overhaul is on a fairly tight schedule. In May 2024, Amtrak signed a construction contract and began preparatory work at Sunnyside Yard in Queens and near 32nd Street in Manhattan. The massive project was originally scheduled to start earlier, but it was pushed back to complete several rerouting projects. On Memorial Day weekend, May 9, 2025, Amtrak officially closed one of the 4 tunnels to begin a full overhaul. For the first 10 days or so, they've been cleaning up, moving power cables, and replacing wooden rail supports, while keeping trains moving through the other 3 tunnels. Then, the heavy work begins. Inside Line 1, all the old rails, rotten bench walls, outdated electrical and signal systems are removed, ready to be reconcreted, new drainage and modern cable systems installed. In parallel, the 3 remaining tunnels, Lines 2, 3, and 4, are still operating normally, but are also being touched up once, from sealing water leaks, replacing third rails, to upgrading electrical and signal systems to handle the extra load when there are only 3 gates left. The plan is that Line 2 will take about 18 months to construct, meaning it will reopen for trains by the end of 2026. Then it will be Line 1's turn to close to do the same, and if everything goes smoothly, by 2027 or 2028, all 4 tunnels will be completely overhauled. In other words, now at the end of 2025, Amtrak is focusing all its efforts on the transformation of Line 2, both demolishing and rebuilding sections, while the remaining 3 tubes struggle to keep hundreds of trains running each day. The upgrade included the removal of the entire old track system and its replacement with a direct fix track system, removing the traditional gravel layer and fixing the track directly to the concrete frame, which increased stability, reduced vibration, reduced maintenance costs, and made it better suited to high train density of up to 450 trains per day. In parallel, the concrete walls and the belt walls were reinforced or newly built. The belt walls not only supported the power and signal cables, but also provided an escape route for staff and passengers in the event of an incident. A range of essential systems were comprehensively modernized. New high-voltage cables replaced the old network that had been corroded by sea salt. Modern electronic signals allowed for more precise traffic management. The drainage system was expanded to prevent flooding, and the ventilation system was improved to reduce humidity and control temperature in the tunnel. In addition, hundreds of new automatic smoke and fire detectors will be installed, all meeting NFPA 130 standards, the highest safety standard for urban and interurban rail infrastructure. Above ground, the project will add signal and instrumentation buildings in Queens, add high-voltage power lines, and upgrade infrastructure at vent shafts in Manhattan. No new tunnels will be dug, and all upgrades will take place within the 100-year-old structure, but construction standards will be based on the latest technology and safety regulations. This allows for cost optimization while maintaining the vital connectivity of the Northeast Corridor. During the early summer shutdown, approximately 24,000 feet of running track, 12,000 feet of third track, 8,000 rails, and 8,000 cubic yards of crushed rock. The crew is currently removing approximately 24,000 feet of retaining wall along the 3-mile tunnel. Removing 20,000 cubic yards of concrete is equivalent to removing more than 650 construction trash cans. The age and unique composition of the concrete made the demolition work very complex, as the wall was designed to last more than a century with concrete, steel reinforcement, terracotta pipes, and other reinforcing materials. To speed up the process, the contractor used a Brock robotic demolition machine in 6 positions, assisted by a hydraulic rock splitter. The machine has rubber wheels to help maneuver in tight spaces and keep the operator safe from falling material. But making these upgrades a reality requires strong funding and partnerships. Funding and partnership. To finance the East River Tunnel, Amtrak must build a multi-tiered financing structure, combining federal, state, and regional funding. The most important milestone came in November 2023, when Amtrak secured $1.26 billion from the Federal Railroad Administration. This represents 80% of the total $1.6 billion cost, showing that the federal government is serious about upgrading the Northeast Rail Corridor. Not only Amtrak, the MTA also contributed with a maximum commitment of $432 million, of which $28 million was spent early to meet the matching capital conditions. For the MTA, this was a must, because their Long Island Railroad relies entirely on this tunnel to move hundreds of thousands of people into Manhattan every day. In New Jersey, NJ Transit also benefits directly because it needs this tunnel to get in and out of Sunnyside Yard. So on May 8, 2024, their board approved $88.4 million for the project, not only sharing the responsibility, but also affirming the importance of the joint project for all three operators: Amtrak, LIRR, and NJ Transit. Thanks to the combination of federal funding as the backbone and commitments from New York and New Jersey, the project finally has the financial footing to get off the ground. If you want to see the weight of the project, you have to know the story behind it that is more than a century old. The story of East River Tunnel. The tunnel opened on September 8, 1910. It is a system of 4 single-tube tunnels that run under the East River, connecting Penn Station in Manhattan with Queens and New Jersey. Thanks to its strategic location, this tunnel has become the blood vessel of the Northeastern Railway Corridor. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, it carried an average of 300,000 passengers per day, or about 450 trains of Amtrak, Long Island Railroad, and New Jersey Transit. But then, in October 2012, Superstorm Sandy hit, flooding the two tunnels with more than 3.5 million gallons of seawater. The salt water corroded and damaged the electrical, signal, drainage, and concrete systems inside. Although it was still running for a while, problems kept occurring. Water leaks, broken equipment, malfunctioning signals, causing repeated service interruptions. Amtrak made a straightforward assessment. The tunnel was more than 114 years old, and without major repairs, it would no longer be reliable. Therefore, the federal and state governments agreed to implement a comprehensive rehabilitation program to extend the tunnel's lifespan by at least 100 years. To be honest, this is not just a matter of passenger transportation, but also an economic story. The East River Tunnel is the bottleneck of the entire NEC corridor, a corridor that contributes nearly 20% of the US GDP. A single incident here could paralyze the entire New York rail system, dragging down millions of passengers and the regional economy. After Hurricane Sandy, Amtrak, the MTA, and NJ Transit all understood that only a comprehensive overhaul could save the East River Tunnel. But the project has been stalled for more than 10 years because of sky-high costs and concerns that it would cripple Penn Station.
Anyway, luckily the upgrade project is underway. That's all for today. Do you know anything more about this tunnel project? Comment below and let me know. Today's episode ends here. See ya!